Hi everybody, I'm DJ Foster. Welcome to this GLIAC basketball preview. I'm joined by Grand Valley State head women's basketball coach Mike Williams as we get ready for the 2015-16 season. Well, Mike, welcome back to Grand Valley State, your first year back as the head coach. You inherited a pretty good team from last year, 20-8 overall, and had a good trip, a good kind of run into the GLIAC tournament. You bring a lot of that talent back, probably led by guard Brianna Barnett, a couple of post players, Piper Tucker and Kayla Dawson. Talk about being back in Allendale and what you kind of try to instill in your first few months back.
You know, we're trying to keep things pretty similar. Like you said, it's a good group, a really good group, and they're focused. You know, they've got they did such a good job last year. I thought they really were very well coached, and I think we've inherited a team that has a purpose this year. And so what we're trying to do is kind of keep things moving along and probably try to add a couple things here and there, but overall it's a focused group. And like you said, you know, it's an upper class group. You know, you got Barnett as a senior and Jamie Botruff as a senior, and you return three other starters and Tay Lutz, Piper Tucker, and Kayla Dawson. So you know they understand what it takes, and I think they're prepared and willing to do what it takes to be successful.
I'm sure you've heard this question a bunch since you've been back, but what is your coaching style? What are you going to try when Laker fans come out to the game? What are they going to see from your teams?
You know, we talked a lot about three things, and number one is being competitive, and number two is finishing. You know, and we're working on that, and just we want to be a team that defensively takes things away that you want to do. You know, we want to make it uncomfortable for you, and you know, still carry over what we did offensively last year, and you know, get in and try to do some stuff more on the full court. Not sure we're going to be able to this first year, but eventually that's what we'd like to do.
You mentioned a bunch of your starters returning and some of the big names that you're expecting back. Who else are you expecting to see, you know, on the court and get some good action?
You know, I think you know, Corinne Hinka this summer kind of was motivated, did a lot of stuff with scoring around the rim, a lot of two-ball stuff, and you can see that now. You know, obviously with her size and our lack of it, she's going to have to play some minutes. You know, you talked about Jamie. She's been injured this preseason. She's going to be back playing. Janae Langs has kind of been out with an injury. She should be back next week. So, you know, as we get healthy and throw some of these players in here. Taylor Parmley last year did not play. She sat out with a shoulder injury. She's back. She looks good. Lindsay Baker on and off last year. So, you know, I think the nice thing this year, what we will have the luxury of, hopefully, is to have more depth this year than they did last year.
It's still early, obviously. You're about less than a month from tip-off, but what do you hope to be the strength of this team?
You know, again, we want to be a solid basketball club. You know, we want to be a solid team. You know, obviously, I've been a coach that's really been a defensive-minded coach, so we'd like to hang our hat on that. You know, as far as will we do it in the full court or the half court, we're not quite sure yet. But we would like to hang our hat on defense and finishing. Just everything we do, we want to finish. We want to put a stamp on it.
We kind of talked about you a little bit. Last thing before I let you go, you've been kind of out of the conference for almost a decade, but you've been in the area. What do you see from the rest of the conference? How does it kind of shape up to you?
Well, obviously, the GLIAC is one of the best conferences top to bottom. Michigan Tech has kind of owned the GLIAC the last 8-9 years. You know, they've had success. Coach Barnes before, and now Kim up there is doing a great job. You know, I think the South looks to be better this year. You know, Ashland looks real good. Finley has a lot of players back. You know, Walsh and Malone are solid. So, you know, I think it's from top to bottom, it's really a solid conference. And the North is always tough. You know, I think last year it was just a dogfight, you know, from top to bottom. I think Tech kind of separated, but, you know, the next 5-6 spots, it's anybody's game, you know, as far as it was last year, and I think it's going to be the same thing this year.
We look forward to seeing you back on the sidelines and good having you back in Allendale. Best of luck during the season. We'll talk to you throughout the year.
All right, DJ, thank you.
It's Grand Valley State head coach Mike Williams here on this GLIAC basketball preview.